All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. It is all about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I mean, it's what 7:26 p.m. here in Sydney, Australia, but all over Europe, of course, in London, it's morning time, and at the moment, every news is about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And rightly so, to be honest. I mean, if we look at the game that we played against Villa in the Carabao Cup, let's be honest, it was far from perfect. In fact, it was imperfect most of the times. If anything, I probably thought Aston Villa deserved to win at the end of the day. They had a better first half. Second half, yeah, we did score. We looked good just before we scored and just after we scored. But as soon as they equalised, they probably looked a lot better. And then obviously, yeah, we had some chances at the end to get the better of that game. But in the midst of that particular game, which obviously we won through penalty shootout at the end, we won it on 4-3 in the penalty shootout. Kudos to Kepa, brilliant shot stopper when it comes to penalties. And all throughout that match, he's been absolutely brilliant. Now, there wasn't probably that many great performances besides obviously Kepa, and the other notable one for me was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Some could say probably Kante had an okay-ish first half as well. Others were saying that maybe Callum had an okay game as well, but that's a different discussion. If you've missed the review, do check that out. The review is live in the videos. Do check out the review where we talked about a whole heap of players. But I really want to talk about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. First, let's go through some tweets, some news, and then I'll provide you my thoughts and what the conversation is really about at the moment. It's between Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Saul, and the fact that Ruben's performance against Aston Villa really kind of showcased that he's probably should be given a bit more respect in midfield. I mean, I know he played a deep role yesterday. He was playing more of the deepest midfielder, kind of like that Jorginho, obviously not absolutely in line with the way Jorginho plays. Jorginho is a regista. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is not a regista, but he was still the deepest midfielder, helping out in build-up and driving from deep as well. So it was very interesting to see. But I mean, yeah, as I said, we'll get through to talking about my perspective on Ruben Loftus-Cheek and the whole conversation around Saul and how I think he deserves a lot more chance in midfield now. But let's have a look at some of these tweets. This is obviously Ruben Loftus-Cheek tweeting out straight after the game saying, tough game against a good side, came out on top into the next round. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And he deserves all the praise, to be honest. I haven't seen anything yet from Thomas Tuchel in terms of any quotes, but I'm sure something will come out very, very soon. But this is what Nizaar Kinsella had to say early this morning. It's not easy to impress in those cup games with wide-scale changes, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek managed it, and Saul Niguez didn't. It could have ramifications with Ruben Loftus-Cheek doing so in number 6 role, which is very, very interesting. Obviously, you can check that article out from Nizaar Kinsella's Twitter page. Adam Newson as well, writing, it became clear as last night's game progressed that Ruben Loftus-Cheek is far more Chelsea ready than Saul Niguez. The Spaniard will get there, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek should be ahead of him in midfield pecking order. You can check that particular article as well. And this is what I tweeted too. Let me just quickly go to my tweet. This is what I was tweeting throughout the game. And I said, Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been standout player for me. I hope to see him as the rotational midfielder ahead of Saul. So this is what all of the journalists are talking about, and this is what I said yesterday in game. Just want to quickly show you guys his stats as well before we get into the nitty-gritty of the opinions on this particular matter. Ruben Loftus-Cheek versus Aston Villa, 88% dribble rate, 50 accurate passes, 3 chances created, 26 passes in opposition half, 4 accurate long balls, 3 key passes, 9 duels won, 5 dribbles most, 1 tackle, 4 recoveries. Fantastic game. 5 dribbles, that's the most. 9 duels won as well, 3 key passes. I mean, brilliant. 88% dribble rate. I mean, just really, really good stats there. Now, look, I personally thought against Villa, he had a very, very good game. Probably, Kepa was fantastic, to be honest. Probably I'd put both of them in the same range. Both of them had excellent games. But in regards to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the way at times he took the ball with the back behind the defender, and turning the defense around, driving with the ball. His passing range was brilliant. His ball control, he barely got dispossessed. I can barely remember him getting dispossessed. His interception, so reading the game was really good. Look, off the ball, as Jonathan, if you guys know, if you've seen the review, if you haven't, check out the review as well. We did post-game. Jonathan was saying, because they were in the stadium, off the ball, maybe at times, defensively he wasn't there or he was just out of position. But, I mean, we need to understand this is his first game, proper game where he started, played the whole 90 minutes. Obviously, those sort of factors, they take time, they take repetition. You need to keep on playing to get those, off the ball understanding corrected. So I'm not worried about that. What I'm really excited about is the fact that he's put on such a great performance, showed such great attitude. And most importantly, he grabbed his chance. I mean, you look at all the other players, and I'll probably do a video later down the track, like players like Ziyech. This is a third game in a row where he's been poor. A player that is supposedly meant to be in his prime, and I love Hakim Ziyech so much, is not taking his opportunities. These opportunities are not going to keep coming and coming and coming. I know it's early days, and it probably will come again, but he needs to take he needs to make most of these chances, because this particular season for players like Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi is another one that I don't completely think he was that great in the match versus Aston Villa. Saul, let's talk a little bit about Saul. I know it's early days once again. He had that match against Villa where he was horrendous, got hooked off at halftime. This particular match, I believe he was hooked off again, wasn't he? Mason Mount came on instead of Saul. I could be wrong. I do need to remember if he got hooked off. But yeah, look, bottom line, Saul, once again, in this particular match against Villarreal, I keep thinking it's Villarreal, against Aston Villa, it was better than the last time he played Aston Villa, but it wasn't that much better. I mean, defensively, there were a couple of slight tackles that won the ball, which was fine. But overall, Saul, he was playing more as a left inside forward. He was barely in midfield. I thought he was going to be in midfield, being a box-to-box player, but he was further up the field, trying to get into the box, trying to win headers up front. But I just don't think he impacted the game at all against Aston Villa. And overall, now we need to get to a situation where we need to say, well, Saul was brought in to be someone who's going to be part of the midfield. But I feel like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, after your Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kante, I feel Ruben Loftus-Cheek needs to be that fourth option. He deserves it. I mean, I like to see a player that just strives and, that hunger, that desperation to just come back to the Chelsea starting 11. I mean, this is what all the articles are saying at the moment. In all the journalists in London or in UK are saying that this guy is desperate to come, make it into the starting 11 for Chelsea. Now, whether that happens or not, that's a different story. But you do need to admire the determination. The fact that he got the opportunity, and albeit Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing in that deep role, driving from deep and going forward, that's not really his role. You need someone like a Jorginho, a holder, and then you need someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek to be box to box, so that he's mostly further down the track as opposed to being the deepest midfielder. He did drive at times, but you do want to see him further up a little bit more. That's why I thought maybe as an inside forward, he could have an opportunity. But even as a number 6 role that he was playing for us against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup, I thought he did a fantastic job, to be honest. And as I said, that's not his role, and he still managed to put a performance. And this is what I expect when your Chelsea career is on the line and you're given an opportunity, whether it be as a centre back, whether it's be a left back, left wing back, right wing back, whatever the case is, wherever you're getting the opportunity, you have to put your best performance, because that's the only way you're going to be able to impress Thomas Tuchel. And I'm so happy that at least he's put a seed in Thomas Tuchel's head that, hey, maybe there's something about Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and maybe he's going to get a little bit more game time off the bench. He'll get that, odd game in the Champions League, perhaps. We've got City coming up in a couple of days' time on Saturday, early kickoff. So he's most likely not going to start, but you could possibly see him coming off the bench. And then we've got Juventus very, very soon after. So he could put himself in that starting lineup against Juventus. So we'll see what happens in that regards. But at the moment, I don't think Saul deserves to be the fourth option or that rotational option in midfield. I truly think it should be Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And this is nothing taken away from Saul. Obviously, he's still finding his way, and that's fine. It's a lone option at the end of the day that we have with Saul. He can take his time, slowly sort of get into the groove. But at the moment, he's not warranted a particular opportunity to be that fourth option if Kovacic and Jorginho and Kante are sort of unavailable. We need to rotate them. I think it needs to be Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So, yeah, all praise at the moment that he's getting post-game. It is absolutely, worthy, to be honest. He does deserve it 100%. And I hope he can continue. I hope we see him off the bench against City. I'm really excited. If we get that classic Ruben Loftus-Cheek back of that Sarri era, that one season under Sarri, where he had that chemistry with Eden Hazard. Oh my days. I said it back then before he got injured. This player has the capability of being one of the best midfielders in the world. So, look, if he can keep showing that desire, if he can keep showing that intensity, that hunger, it's going to be brilliant. He's got the height. Aerially, when it comes to set pieces, attacking-wise or defensively, it's a tick mark for me. Ball control, his physique, his pace, his technicality, all so sound. So this is one player I'm really going to monitor, and I hope Thomas Tuchel is now starting to look a little bit deeper into Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and hopefully he gets a little bit more minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts were about Ruben Loftus-Cheek and his performance against Aston Villa. Do you think it warrants a little bit more game time in the future? And yeah, just let me know in the comment section whether you would want to see him against City. Maybe not start, but maybe off the bench, and and then straight after that against Juventus. Does he put his hand up for a start? Perhaps. Who knows? I don't know. Possibly not, because of Jorginho and Kovacic and Kante. But we'll see what happens down the track. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button, guys. Very important for the growth of the channel. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. We are very, very close to 8,000 subscribers. So let's get there together. And yeah, as I said, let's comment about Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Saul. Who wins the battle at the moment? I want to hear your thoughts. Let's go.